All right, guys, and welcome back to Bandage Scars. Today, we will be talking about understanding narcissists. I have a very special guest today, my auntie.
Thank you for having me, honey.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Tanisha. I have the pleasure of, being a part of Janae's life, and I'm grateful just for the opportunity. She asked me to come and share, and I'm primarily going off of my own experience that I have had with dealing with persons with narcissistic behavior. And I just wanted to share with her and you all my experience and what I have learned in the process.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so first question is just going to be some little basic questions. So, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color would be royal blue. Yes, that's my favorite color.
That's a nice color too.
I would also have to say, hold on, royal blue, and now purple has kind of slid in there because my color for my business is purple, so it has become one of my favorites as well.
Okay, and speaking of your business, can you explain your business to us a little bit?
I have a business that's called Royal Services by Tanisha Reed, and it's a number of different services that I offer: graphic design, mobile car detailing, home cleanings, book writing assistance. What else do we do? Oh God,
everything under the sun.
Pretty much, we offer services. So
everything under the
on
sun.
my page, Instagram is Royal Services TR under Instagram. But yeah, so we are currently on vacation until the 9th of September, but we will be back and ready to take inquiries, projects, whatever. But yes, it's Royal Services by Tanisha Reed.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So we're gonna get straight into the questions. So if you could just give our listeners an explanation of the real definition of a narcissist.
So I would say the real definition of a narcissist is a person that has an inflated or an exaggerated sense of self, where they have this sense of entitlement, or they have this grandiose view of themselves. So they feel like because they view themselves as this, they feel like people should treat them as such. So they have this view that I am this great perfect person that people are supposed to praise, and they want a lot of admiration, a lot of attention, and a lot of applause. So that is the definition of a narcissist.
That's very sickening, actually. And what made you want to begin studying about narcissism?
I wanted to study because, first of all, it's been a word that I've heard so much, especially lately. But it's been something that I've come in contact with over the years and did not really realize that's what that was. In different persons that I've come in contact, whether it be family, friends, whatever, work relationships, it's just some of these behaviors that I've seen matched the definition of a narcissist. Right. So I just wanted to do more research. So I got on TikTok and did a nice, good old search of it, and just really it started to make sense. The things that people were doing and how they were, the behaviors that they portrayed, it's like you fit this description.
Yeah. Like, so I know somebody like this.
So it helps you to be able to it's like, okay, now I can label you as this. Now how do I deal with you?
Yeah.
How do I deal with you? So once you're able to label, because first off, you're like, where's all this coming from? What kind of person does this? What kind of person is this? And after doing, I delved deeply into TikTok and the different experiences that people have had, and I'm just like, oh, I have experienced that, and this is what this is. So it was just like a light came on, like, this is what this is. Yeah. So then I started also researching, okay, how do you deal with them? And how do you heal from them? How do you, if you have to interact with them, what do you do? If you have to co-parent with them, how do you respond? All of those different things. I've even had family members who've been in situations with persons with those behaviors, and they've shared with me how they've had to deal with it, even in co-parenting and different. So it's just, first of all, because I've heard it so much. Yeah. And then I now have experienced it. So it was just like, okay, what is this? Now, how do I deal with you? How do I deal with this person? Right. If I have to deal with them on a day-to-day, how do I handle? Because this is their behavior.
And I feel like that's very important too, because a lot of people be like, "Oh, he's a narcissist or she's a narcissist," but do you really know? What a narcissist is? Like, it could just be somebody that made you mad, pissed you off, and now he's a narcissist or shit. But it's like, do you really know what those type of people are like? Like, so I feel like I agree. This episode was really important to me because of just that. Like, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's a narcissist," or "You're a narcissist," or "You have narcissistic behaviors," but it's just like, do you really know? Yeah, it's like, do you know what you're saying? Yeah. Because I used to hear it said a lot, and I'm just like, what the heck does that even mean? Yeah. And I was just like, why is everybody using this word? Like, what is that? So when I finally looked it up, I said, oh. Mm-hmm. And then you see the behaviors that are tied to them. It was like, oh, there are a whole lot of them everywhere. And then sometimes you have to check yourself and say, let me make sure I ain't carrying none of these characteristics. And I don't want to carry them in any type of way. But so it's just because I had kept hearing the word, and then I started to see some of these behaviors in relationships that I've had. And I was just like, okay, yep, that's what that is. Yeah. So it just made me want to do more research on it and how to handle it, how to avoid it. Yeah. If I can, you know. Mm-hmm. So is it true that narcissists don't apologize but also play the blame game? In my experience, absolutely. What I have experienced, they will avoid apologizing like the plague. Even if they know they are wrong, they will find some way to turn it. Mm-hmm. So they never feel like they're wrong. To make it's like but it could be where you know you're flat out wrong, but I did that because. Yeah. No, you're wrong. Just say that you're wrong. They just say accountability. Yeah. Refute, baby. They refuse. Yeah. Oh my God. They refuse to take accountability. Yeah. So it's just like, they will never. And I'll say this, and if they do acknowledge that, it's like a quick, but I did it because you did X, Y, and Z. Yeah. So it's always because somebody else. It's always because of what somebody else is. Never stopping and saying, okay, I apologize. I was in error for that. I should have never done that. Yeah. I should have never said that. I should have never handled it that way. No, I did that because, you should have came up. No. You take accountability for what you've done. Mm-hmm. But it's lack of accountability. It's definitely one of their characteristics. Yeah. And like I said, so is it like hard for them to take accountability because of this image that they? Oh, absolutely. That's what I believe. I believe because they carry this image of being so grand or so perfect or without error. It's like that I'm not gonna tell you I'm wrong. I'm never gonna say I'm wrong because I'm not supposed to be wrong. Right. I'm not a person who's ever wrong, which I don't understand that. But they're thinking from what the different videos that I've watched, and even going into prayer and a lot of other things about it, they're thinking I will never get it because I'm not that way. I'm just not that. I'm just not that way, and I'm grateful that I'm not that way. But it's just like the way they get down and how they process things. I'm like, it's weird. Yeah, it's giving kind of off psychotic, and I can't do it. That's good. It's off. That's good. It's so, and I'm like, Lord, please don't ever let me portray this type of to anybody. And if I ever have, I will publicly apologize to them because I'm just like, it makes the other person feel like you're crazy. Like, am I crazy for what I'm feeling? Yeah. Am I in a whole nother world? Right. No. And I feel like too, like with the way that they portray themselves, because of course, every topic that I'm going to have, I do a little research of my own because I don't want it to just be, of course I want like you to, tell me the things that you know, but I also want to understand it for myself because like you said, I can only talk about stuff that I've been through. Yeah. So I feel like also with them, like they make the other person feel like really step back and be like, dang, was it me? Like, did I make them? Yeah, it makes you step back and take it all on yourself and you questioning you. Yes. You saying, well, maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. Maybe. Yeah. No, wait a minute. Yeah. Now, okay, I'm not negating you could be in error as well. Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, okay, let's both say what we have done. Yeah. Let's both. But if it's always you trying to make it the other person's fault, that's where it's wrong. Yeah. That's where it's wrong. Absolutely. So just to go back a little bit, you did say that you watched videos on like how to deal with them. Mm-hmm. So what is some of like the videos that you've seen explaining more about like how to deal with them, or
what I've seen, and the best way to deal with them is to not, if you don't have to. Because it'll, until that person comes to the realization that they have to take some type of accountability, you'll always feel like you're going in this circle. You'll always feel like you're running around and you're not getting anywhere. It's like we're not getting anywhere with
like
this.
in a stagnant place.
So it's like, well, the best thing for you to do, if that person hasn't reached a place of accountability, is to not deal. And what they call is no contact, don't deal. I'm not gonna, because every time I attempt to deal with you, it makes me feel some type of way. It makes me feel like I'm crazy, makes me feel like I'm off. No, I'm just gonna refuse to deal. And that's a choice you have to, as difficult as that is, whether it's be your mother, your father, whoever, siblings, whatever. But if this person constantly makes you feel like you're wrong, something is wrong with you, no, I'm gonna step off. My advice, or from what I've learned and gained from others that have experienced it, is to not deal. Because you have to have some type of peace within you. And if this interaction with this person is jeopardizing that, then maybe it's best that I not interact with you at all.
Absolutely, because your peace is very much so important.
And I ain't saying that no contact is not difficult, because it very much well is. I hear people, they constantly just go no contact, just go. That's not a very easy thing to do if this is your mother. If this is your father or your siblings, that ain't a very easy thing to do at all.
Absolutely.
But if it's constantly causing you harm, it ain't easy, but it's the best thing to do.
Absolutely. Because like you said, even your family can bring you drama and your life not be peaceful. So
absolutely.
That definitely.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Would you like to go to the next question?
Sure.
Okay. So, well, I don't have to ask this one because we basically already went over that. It says, do they feel like they're ever wrong? They pretty much know. What's the best way to deal with one? Already answered that. Even if they're the close family, answered that too. So what usually causes someone to be a narcissist?
I believe that anybody that portrays any type of negative behavior, I believe it has a lot to do with childhood trauma. Something is undealt with, something has not been healed. So it's more of a projection. You're projecting what you actually feel on the inside of you on somebody else. So I just think it boils down to there is some underlying childhood issue.
So basically, they're trying to mask their internal hurt with this perfect person.
Absolutely. But then they in turn make somebody else feel less than, or make them feel bad about, because constantly projecting that it's somebody else's fault. No, honey, what's going on the inside of you? Because it clearly there's some. So at the end of the day, it's just, in my opinion, it's undealt with trauma. Which I think a lot of adults that are walking around, we have all done. It, not necessarily saying in regards to being a narcissistic behavior, but period. I feel like a lot of negative behavior that we're experiencing as adults towards others or towards ourselves is because of undealt with issues. Underlying issues that grow up into your adulthood, and then you start to project on different people that sent there to love you and be there for you. You causing them harm because you're hurting on the inside.
And it'd be crazy too, because I realized like the ones that actually don't really like them are the ones that they like cling to. But then the ones that like show them all this love is the ones that they push away. And that's very strange to me.
It is.
Especially with dealing with the fact that you're doing this because of some type of trauma that you have. So it would make you think like, I'm going to cling to those who love me and then act this way to those who I know don't like me.
But I wonder if it's sometimes people, they desire that genuine, pure love, but just don't know how to embrace it. It's just like,
it scares them.
It's like, I know I need this. I want that. But the safest thing for me to do is to push you away.
Yeah.
Because that embracing it,
yeah,
scary to me.
Yeah.
So I've seen people sabotage some of the greatest relationships because of fear.
Yeah.
I've done that before. I've been guilty of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm afraid of how you love me because it seems so real. It seems too right. It's too pure. It's too peaceful.
Yeah.
So
and
I'm going to
all this.
Yeah. I'm used to all this chaos.
Yeah.
So if it ain't chaotic, I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. But when it comes peaceful, it's like you questioning, like, what the heck is
you're trying to find every little
thing wrong in it.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
That's really good. I never thought of it that way.
Yep. Sometimes people will push away what they need because of fear. I've definitely been guilty of that.
Yeah. I've definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. I mean, we might need to talk about another one of these because that's good. Why do people so often side with or make excuses for narcissists even when they know that they're wrong?
You saying like family members or
like their friends, or so basically, for example, like how people say that certain people have certain friends that boost their ego when they know that they're wrong. So like say that I come tell you like, oh auntie, I did it, and I'm wrong, but you'd be like, oh Nisi, that it was the other person, like it wasn't you, but based off of what I told you or what you've seen I've done, it's like, yeah, you're the problem. But why do they not make them accountable for like being the problem, I guess?
Well, I just feel like because most times in my experience and what I've learned is that most narcissists are surrounded by people that they ain't accountable either. Yeah. They're supported by their kind. They're mostly supported by people that are like them. Yeah. So even when you think about it, I'm not gonna check you on not being accountable for something when I'm not. Yeah. I'm not gonna say nothing to you. Yeah. And then if me saying something to you backfires on me, then I'm not gonna do it. So I feel like it's to me personally, it's out of fear of how they would affect their relationship with that person. Yeah.
But see, with that, I actually hate that because I tell people all the time, you can't be my friend or I can't be your friend if I can't tell you when you're wrong.
You're wrong, yeah.
And it's okay for you, to feel like, okay, maybe I did overdo it by how I said it. But I don't want you to be offended and be like, oh, I'm not talking to her because she feel like I want you to sit and be like, okay, maybe I was wrong. But just be like, oh yeah, you're doing too much. Like I hate that. Like I hate that with a passion.
Well, you say when they try to tell you, when you tell them?
Basically, like when you tell somebody like, oh, what you did was wrong and you know it. Okay. But then well, you're just trying to take their side. No, I'm telling you genuinely as a friend
that you're wrong.
Like I hate when people can't. You call me your friend, but you can't take what I say. But then you want me to take what you say to me. Yeah. I hate it. And the reason why I hate it because I've been there. I've been that friend like, oh, you're just taking their side. Like you don't understand my side until I really realized and I came into the place where I am in life now. Janae's not perfect. It's okay to not be perfect. But you have to realize that you're not perfect for you to be able to get to that point and be like, okay, you know what, you're right. You were right. Like, even a couple of days ago, like something that I thought about years ago. I mean, something that somebody told me years ago popped up in my head. And I was like, wow, like I was wrong how I reacted to them because as time went on, I was really who they said that I was. And it's just like, I noticed with a lot of narcissists, like their friends don't make them accountable.
Yeah, they don't say anything. They don't say anything to them.
Yeah, like it's just like they just let it be.
It just keeps going and keeps going. Yeah, like, y'all didn't just see that. Y'all not gonna say nothing. No. I had an experience some years ago, and this person, he was around all of his boys, and it just the way the situation was handled. I was looking at them like, y'all ain't gonna say nothing. It was just like they were afraid to speak up. I was just like, that's why he's gonna continue to be the way he is.
That's what it gives.
Because nobody is saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. It's like, are you afraid of his response? Are you afraid of losing a relationship? And I think it'd be that. Yeah. I think it'd be that.
Because I've definitely, now that you said it, I've definitely dealt with people who like, they'd come to me and be like, oh, such and such was wrong and da-da-da-da. but won't tell them, and it's just like,
yeah.
why are you telling me?
Why you,
like,
yeah.
Like telling me is not going to fix them being wrong. Like that's
did you
for
say that to them?
Yeah,
I'm sure you didn't.
Yeah, and it definitely makes sense. They're around their own kind, and they're scared. To, or they could possibly also be scared too, because it's like I tell you wrong for doing XYZ, but then you check me on what I've done, and maybe what I've done is worse than what you've done, and you know what I did.
Yep. Or they're like, I can't send him because he know he got something on me.
Yeah.
So it'd be that too. Yeah. So like if I say something, then he gonna be like, I know you ain't talk. It'll be all of that back and forth. When it should just be, yeah, you right.
Yeah, you right.
Regardless of, yeah, you right. But
yeah, like you said, it's a non-accountability thing for him. That makes sense. And also to go back a little bit more, you said something about a video, with co-parenting with a narcissist. What was that like? Like the explanation of that?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really delve that much into it because I'm not really in that situation currently. But what I've gained from someone that I know was in that is that you have to, again, deal as less as possible, because it puts you into a space of where you're all over the place. So I have to give you as less as possible. Respond like little to none. Yeah. And it has to primarily be about the child. Yeah. And anything outside of that is too much. Yeah. And that's pretty much all that I've gained from that. Like I said, I'm not even in the experience right in that type of situation or experience that per se, but from what I've gained from someone that I know that's very close to me that have went through that was the way they had to go. Had to just
basically like no contact, but also
minimum contact. It's like minimum, very low contact to where, okay, baby boy need a pair of shoes, boom. That it can't put nothing else in there, because they take a little and just run with it. So that's what I've gotten from that, or the wisdom I've gotten from the person I know that went through it.
So what would be, in your thought or experience, what would be the first sign that you're dealing with narcissism?
I would say the first sign. I would say the first sign when a person who's just never able to take accountability. If I'm saying even to the smallest things, like if y'all out or something, and I don't know, I'm just trying to make up something. Y'all out and he says, or the restaurant was, it was packed or whatever. And it's always, well, you didn't call and make reservations? You didn't check first? Well, you could have done, you know what I'm saying? When they're never able to take accountability. Yeah. And it's always well, if they yelled at you or something, like, well, I don't really appreciate you yet. Well, I mean, I only did it because, I apologize. Yeah. But it's always turning around on somebody else's fault. To me, that's one of the most evident signs. Yeah. You gonna never say that you're sorry. You're never gonna say that it was your fault. Yeah. Like you're never the problem. You're never the problem. Like, come on, we all are the problem at some time or another. But you're never the problem. It's never you. Like, okay.
You're the only person that God sent on earth that's perfect.
The only one. He sent you down here.
Listen, you're the only perfect person.
Only one. So that's what I would say would be one of the clear indications. And if they are, I don't know, there are so many different levels. I ain't delved that much into it, but if a person is always like needing praise or needing attention and needing claps and needing you to say something nice to them, or like it's giving you, what's going on?
Like you want everything to be about you.
Everything is about you. Yeah. So I would say, but the first evidence sign is like they never take accountability, like ever. You probably would have to catch it in a few like different scenarios before you can label a person that. But I think if you didn't got to about 5 or 6 scenarios and you're never the problem and you're clearly the problem.
Yep. Yeah. And that's crazy. I was just talking to my friend and I was telling him, like, sometimes we take the red flags that we see and we make them yellow.
Oh yeah.
And we go through like 7 processes trying to make it green.
Oh,
and then when we look back down at it, it's red again.
All been guilty of doing that.
Yeah.
You be like, it's red as red can be, but I'm about to paint this green.
You hear me? It's gonna be green today.
It's true. It's very true. And a lot of times, I'm gonna say this is off the rip about narcissists, but red flags ain't just with men.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that women can be a red flag too. We got some red flags that throw up too.
I used to be
for them, because I used to be one.
I used to be one for sure.
I used to be one. So I'm like, it ain't that. Don't just pertain, girl. You better see them red flags. Girl, how about you as a red flag too, sis?
Yeah.
How about you?
How about you're the biggest red flag? Like the stop sign.
How about you are a red flag, sis, and you don't want to admit that?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, that works. That red flag thing works both ways, and we both, male and female, have to analyze and examine ourselves. Like, okay, let me see what I need to fix with me, because I can write out everything that's wrong with him.
Exactly.
But what's wrong with you, sis? Like, what do you have to get together?
Yeah. And that's another reason why, like, I feel like at our big age, since everybody will walk around talk about they grown, at our big age, people need to start taking accountability for their self too. Yeah, that's what it was saying on TikTok. It was like, everybody using demure. I seen that all down Facebook for like 2 days.
They was like, well, how about I can't wait for the day that accountability is the word.
Yeah, a trend. Absolutely.
Yeah, please make that a trend.
Absolutely. Accountability.
And that's what I'm saying for everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes. But like you said, it's both ways. Like men is narcissists, women are narcissists.
There are female and male narcissists.
Like, and that's why I hate the whole one-sided thing in life. Like, and of course, it's never going to change because it's been like that our whole life. But it's just like when we start taking accountability, that one-sided thing, to where men get praised for certain things but women don't, or women get praised for certain things that men don't, it'll stop once everybody starts taking accountability and like, you know what?
I agree.
That's wrong. Or, you know what? It's okay for everybody to do that. Like, but everybody wants to have this facade that nobody's perfect, but then y'all want to walk around like y'all perfect. It doesn't work like that.
We all, and I'm saying all, men, women, in church, out of church, everybody got something to work on. But you have to admit you have something to work on.
Yep. You
can't just walk around here as if everybody else got something but you.
But you don't.
I say we all have something to work on. You can't just say, oh, he this, he that, he this, he that. Sis, what about you?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he is all of those. But guess a lot of times, some men gonna let you, I am that.
They're gonna tell you from the beginning.
I am that. They're gonna tell you from jump.
And then you're gonna try to take what they told you
and switch it.
And switch it.
He said, I told you from the beginning. I was like this.
Yeah.
You continue to allow me to pursue. So here we are.
Yep. And that's another thing too when it comes to narcissists. Like, I feel like they're not always the problem. Because if you as a narcissist are telling me that you are one, and I decide to still proceed with you, and then once you hurt me, I'm walking around talking about, oh, he's a narcissist, but he told you that. So now you're trying to make this man look bad for something that he already told you. And you're trying to change him into something else when he already told you what he was from the beginning. Now you 17 years in and you crying because he got 3 baby moms and
and then it's everybody else's fault that you're in this situation.
Yours, when he told you.
And I'm just, I'm like, no. At the end of the day, saints of God, we all have work to do.
Absolutely.
We all have to be accountable for what we do, how we treat people. We all have to be accountable. We cannot say, oh, we can't just enumerate everybody else's flaws and dismiss our own. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We can't do that. And I promise, as much as some of us pray, fast, and all of that, the Lord ain't talking to you that much about the next person. He's talking to you about you.
You hear me?
He's gonna get he's gonna get Tanisha together before he deals with Janae. He ain't gonna say nothing to me about Janae, first off. Because he got a long list of things that he got to deal with Tanisha about.
Listen.
So I ain't here to judge nobody. I'm here to love people regardless of where they are. Period. Because he's still working on me.
Absolutely. Every day.
Every single day.
At all. And that's why I hate when people do like go on social media or like you sit around with certain people and you realize that they talk about everybody else's problem with their own.
Yeah.
And that's another reason
just
why.
It's a projection. It's a throw off. It's like, come on, honey, let's all come down and realize I don't care what title you carry. I don't care if you call by God to lead thousands, whatever. We all have things that we have to work on, and he's still working in us.
Yep.
He's still working in us.
Yep.
But we have to be honest and not criticize, not judge the next person, because we still are working. We're all a work in progress.
Yep. And that's another reason why I said it. Like, I feel like if I make this podcast too for people to be able to talk about their issues, talk about, what they went through to get through where they are. Because if everybody really sit and talk about what they're dealing with in their own issues and not everybody else's, it wouldn't be so much drama and chaos. You
don't have time to be worried about whatever something's going on in somebody else's life. You don't.
At all.
We don't have time.
At all.
The time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed, if you focus on you, you shouldn't have time for nothing else. Yep. If you focus on your life and you and God getting you together, from your mental to your emotional, your spiritual life, your finances, your health, if we took that time to get us together, I wouldn't have no time to worry about what the next person is doing.
Yep.
I wouldn't have no time to sit and talk about what's going on in somebody else's life. And I don't understand where we find that we have the audacity to talk about somebody else's life when yours ain't together. Yeah. I have never understood that. And I don't ever want to understand it, because I sit sometimes at my desk and I'm thinking about the things that I need God to do just for me. And by the time I'm done praying and writing and journaling, it's almost the end of my day, because I didn't focus so much on what I need to do for me. I don't even have space to worry about what's going on with the next person. Yeah, I just don't. I don't have that.
Yep. And that's the thing too. Like, because I'm not perfect. I've been one of the ones that will sit with somebody else and talk about somebody else's business, or they're like, you know what, I heard such and such went, but then I realized, like, that's not doing anything for me. That's not doing nothing for me. It ain't doing nothing but put me in drama, because the same people I sit and talk to is going to go to that person that I was talking about and tell them, oh, Janae said X, Y, Z, but you're not going to tell them that you agreed with what I said. So then it's all just on Janae, and then now Janae is the problem in the situation because I bring it to you. To where when we sit and we talk, I could talk about, oh, well, Janae's going through, or Janae did, or AJ did, because those are the two things that I'm worried about.
That's it. Zoom right in.
Literally.
On you and what's attached to your name. Zoom right in right there.
Literally. And that's, again, take accountability.
That's what that is.
For what you have going on.
But you take accountability. Yeah. With your behavior, your negative. Let's write out your negative behaviors. Yeah. What do you need to work on? What do you need to fix?
What narcissistic traits do you have?
No, seriously, you have to. Do I have any of these traits? Am I this way to anybody? Have I been this way to anybody?
Yeah.
Because we all have to be accountable for the deeds that are done in our own bodies. We have to be. And how we treated other people, we have to be accountable for.
Yep. But I feel like we said, people are scared to be hated.
Oh, I agree with that. They want to be loved so bad.
In this church circle world, and I'm gonna be honest, because that's the only world I know for real. Because I'm not in the hood world. I'm not in. I do hood rat things with my friends sometimes, but
you're gonna come up out of that.
Yes. But I'm in the church world circle, or I've grown up in it, and a lot of people are scared to be hated, and it's just like, only person I'm scared to be hated by is God.
Yeah, I hear that. I think a lot of people too.
And I've been in that position to where, like, I try to please everybody because I didn't want people to be mad at me, or I didn't want people to hate me. But now,
I don't care.
And
that just has a lot to do with person's esteem too. You don't have to. Church, I've grown up in church all of my life, and I've seen so much about the church.
Yes.
But I'll say this: I love the church. It's what's kept me in my right mind, despite the things that have come against me. But I'm gonna say, a lot of us that were born and raised in church have let church become our identity, who we are.
Yeah.
So when church people are not into you, or not, all supportive of you, and all, you don't even know how to feel. Yeah. It's like you don't even know how to be.
It breaks you down. It makes you feel like you're not enough.
Like you feel like you don't even have no life, because your life has been church. So outside of that, it's like, who am I? Yeah. What do I do? What do I like if I'm not going to a service? Yeah. If I'm not going to a concert, what do I like outside of that? So it to me, it just has a lot to do with the person's identity and what they've been trained to believe. Yeah. A lot of us that grew up in church, we grew up feeling like you had to please everybody. And that was the way to get people to love you, like you, and support you, and all of that. Yeah. No.
Because what we didn't realize, honestly, most narcissists, let me not say it like that. A lot of narcissists are actually leaders of churches. And
I would partially, I would agree.
Yeah, I've seen it for myself, because it's like you make your congregation, or like people attached to you, feel like you're just so perfect. And if they miss a service, they're the worst member in the world. Or if they're a deacon and Miss Susie over here is in the spirit, and the usher can't make it, you got to make it. But they don't care about you being in the spirit. They just care about you being in the job or the position that they give you. When a pastor is wrong, you want everybody to cover it up for you. Or you don't want nobody to say nothing to you. Like, I know one. Of course, I'm not going to say no names, but I know one. And it was to the point where I had to tell this person, like, for you to be in leadership, you don't like correction. And sometimes it's okay, no matter what position you're in, to get correction when you're wrong.
We all have to take that. It's all for the growth. We all have to take correction.
And it's like, it's okay even if it's somebody on the street, say you go and somebody prophesying to them. If what you're prophesying to me is not about me, I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. They don't like to hear that. Or they want to change it up, like, oh, well, you might not see it now. I know I'm not going to see it because that's not what God told me. Like, that has nothing to do with anything that I've ever thought about in my life. So I know it's not about me, but they don't like that. But it's like, it's okay for you to correct me publicly in church, but it's not okay for us to correct y'all when you prophesying to me wrong publicly. I got to do it privately.
Oh, I got you.
Like, you want me to pull you to the office, like, oh, well, you were wrong. But then even when I tell you were wrong, you still try to justify why you were right. How is that a thing? Like,
I don't really know how. I think some people just in their position kind of take that to another level. And there is a regard to a leader. There is a reverence to an elect, to whether pastor, bishop, whatever their title is. There is an order to that. But I don't disagree that they should be able to accept correction as well. But I think it's the way that it's done. I think it's the way that it's done and how it comes over to them. I don't want to come off as being disrespectful in any type of way. So I think the important part is how it comes, how it comes over. Yeah. Because if they're prophesying and you saying, that ain't true, I'm saying
I've actually seen that.
It's how.
And everybody was just like,
it's how it's done,
Yeah.
That's what I think. It has a lot to do with how you, because you have to keep in mind there's other people watching. So what you do, people that somebody may be new, somebody may be off the street, whatever, ain't familiar with church at all, and they see this and they're like, okay, is this something that's allowed? You just got to be careful and and how you handle things. Even a person that's in leadership, you have to be careful in how you handle them. It's difficult sometimes that can be, but the position that they're in, you have to respect and reverence.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of people that are in leadership that I feel like people don't respect because they know them outside of their position.
Oh, I agree with that. I would agree with that.
And I feel like that, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But so I do have one more question.
Okay.
If you were to put together a checklist for someone trying to remove themselves from a narcissist, but it's hard for them.
Okay.
What would you tell them?
You're saying completely like detached from the situation? First I would say, a checklist. I don't think to be honest, that's not something to dealing with the person with those type of characteristics that leave you feeling constantly on edge, like you're constantly walking on eggshells, or you never can say the right thing, or you never doing the right thing. That constantly leaves you at a state of anxiety, because it's like you can never please this person. So having steps to kind of disconnect, maybe I'll say this, steps could essentially be not interacting as much, or pulling back on your interaction. So say for instance, if y'all together every day, take a day back, and then just keep going until you're not with them at all. Because you have to start somewhere. I don't necessarily want to say, okay, some of the people that I've listened to have said, just go completely no contact. Just go no contact. That's difficult for some people. And then I've heard others just take steps back. They message, don't respond. They, or they message a paragraph, you just message back, okay. You pull back, it's the emotion in it. You pull back your energy. That's what it is. You pull back your energy into them. Because if you was constantly just giving out energy, giving out love, giving out kindness, giving out money, giving out your resources, start pulling that back. And then slowly and I'm gonna be honest, you got to pray. For sure. I ain't gonna leave that out. No, the checklist, the first of the checklist is you got to pray.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to literally pray to the Father that He would help you to detach yourself from this, because it's harming you. It's not healthy for you. And once you start to do that, the emotional energy that you were giving the situation, or giving the person, or giving your mother, giving your father, whoever this person is, it will start to dwindle. And you won't desire their attention. You won't desire their time. You won't desire their energy, their love. You won't desire it anymore. But you got to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional and consistent. You can't let them keep pulling you back in. Nope. I said, okay, that was the end of the conversation. They're going to keep texting back, you going to say nothing? Okay was the end of the conversation. Now, if it has to move to you blocking, then that's a whole nother situation. But I just feel like you have to pull back your emotions from it slowly. And then eventually, you won't need it no more. You won't even need their attention. You won't need, because at first you'll probably feel like you want to call, you want to text, you're going to go through that part. And then eventually, when you start to remember how that constantly made you feel, then you're like, oh, okay, I'm good. It ain't worth it. I'm good. Because what do I miss? What really do I miss? I miss how you made me feel.
The thought of it.
The thought, because
that's it.
I was walking on eggshells around you all the time.
Exactly.
I could never do nothing right. I was this, I was that. So what do I really miss? So once you start really going through that in your mind, it's like, I'm good.
I guess it's pointless at this point.
Now you go on your days when you go up and down, round and round about it, but when you weigh out the good feelings with the bad feelings, you'll be like, oh, that ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it. But so that's it's my experience that I have had with persons with these characteristics. And And I'm just careful that from what I've learned and experienced and the negative emotions that I felt from it, I'm just careful that I don't become that person.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I started to detest people that I saw with those characteristics. And then you can dislike something so much, or dislike a person, or dislike a situation, that you in turn start to betray those same behaviors. So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Forgive and let it and go on.
Yeah.
You do.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I got for you for today, honey.
I appreciate it
You're
so
welcome.
much.
You're
Well,
so
guys, that wraps up this episode. Thank you so much to
You're
my
so welcome.
auntie. She is so amazing, y'all. When I say so amazing, I mean so amazing. She has helped me through so much, and I love her with everything in me.
Hope she's listening. I'm joking.
But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Tune in next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. and we will have another special guest. So, guys, thank you. Love you.
Bye-bye.